Okay, Cindy just helped me put the gates up. We got two 8-foot gates. I know on this big one I thought about getting a really big gate, and I was going to run a wire from the left side down to the end to help hold it up. But really with two gates is a bit more superior because we can back the trailer up there and then have the gates make a wedge and then put the trailer in there so that actually keeps any animals from getting out when we get to that point. So two gates was a better idea. But what I gotta do now is figure out how to unspool the wire so it's ridiculously heavy. So my plan is we have all of these old fences and stuff and cattle feeders and things we brought up that we found around the property. So my thought is to take this one, and then there's a pipe that runs along here. I'm going to cut it to the width of the skid steer blade or the skid steer bucket, and then I'll cut it up here at the top. So what's going to happen, I'm going to create a T down at the bottom. I'm going to run a piece of rebar through. There's a hole in the bucket that'll fit good for that, and then that piece will be able to pivot up and down like this. So I can pivot it down. We can basically spear one of those bales of wire and then lift it up, ratchet it in place, or keep a little bit of an angle, and I should be able to back and pull it, I hope. So that's the plan. If I get the Sawzall, cut that down and get it set up and see if it works. Well, it has been a lot of trial and error trying to get this first fence up. The kind of makeshift pole I hooked on the tip of the skid steer bucket, that took a lot of learning to figure out how to keep it upright and then how to pull it out without it falling down. I'm still not sure if we got that worked out. Then getting the stretcher on was a chore. That was not the easiest thing to figure out. I think we may try it laying on the ground next time. And then now we finally got our wire pulled tight. We weren't even sure how tight to pull it, so we pulled it pretty much as tight as we possibly can. So much, in fact, that the post down there at the end that Cindy and I put the gates on this morning is now leaning, and we figured it's best just not mess with it anymore and go ahead and tie it up. So Natalie and Barry are down there trying to learn how to put the clips on.
Trying to learn.
Yeah, trying to learn. So with an hour later, I think, we're just now getting this this first section done. So I don't know how far we're gonna get today. It'd be nice to get at least two of these up. What I'm doing is going down, and then Barry marked right there is my 6 inches above, so that's 4.5 feet. So I'm just going through and checking to make sure the top of my T-posts are all at 4.5 feet. And the reason why we're leaving them higher is so we can either run a barbed wire, which I guess you're not supposed to do with goats because they're dumb and they'll jump up there and rip their legs open and things, or run electrical wire along the top, and this gives us enough room to do that. So I don't know, it's been interesting. We've had so much rain in the last 24 hours, something like 5 or 6 inches.
Tim sent us a couple pictures of the bridge, the 2 bridges by our property, and it's about 5 feet under the bridge. We've had so much rain, so I wanted to bring the girls down to the creek to see how high it is. And the big tree, the big sycamore, is right there. This is the hill that we've sometimes gone sledding down. That's really flooded. So there's the big tree. Wow. Yeah, there's the creek. You can see it rushing.
Yesterday we kind of just gave up on filming because things were just not going right. Went to go do this leg and it was a real pain, and then I got to the far end and pulled it, and it actually pretty much pulled this corner post completely out of the ground. Well, not completely, it was up a good foot. It twisted it. The screws I had in here just kind of bent, so when we repositioned it I doubled up on the screws, and then I had to use the backhoe to pull it back into place, and that was just kind of how the whole day was going, and wasn't the best thing to record. I wish this fence would have turned out a little bit better. There is some up and down in it, just how it goes, but it's a learning curve. We've never put one of these in before, so it's definitely a bit of a struggle here and there. It's kind of funny because other people on YouTube are putting the same style fence in right now. It's kind of amusing. We've been watching them and all of a sudden they're doing the exact same thing that we're doing. So we try to learn from them, and I don't know if we got enough pointers to to help us out, but definitely motivate us to get moving. So anyways, we got 2 more legs to do, and then this west field is going to be fenced in, and then we'll finally be good to get the goats locked up so we can get the garden planted finally. We did a bunch of starts a while back, and those I had to toss them out because I couldn't get the garden done because I couldn't get the goats locked up. Otherwise we would just eaten everything. So anyways, we're pretty much starting over on our garden. So to add to our frustration, anyone who's doing these, don't take all these out of the little bags they come in and then throw them in a bucket, because you cannot get them out. So the lovely wife came out, and her dog. And Odie, who's all about helping, aren't you?
He's like, I love you.
If I screw it up, we'll have it on film.
This
was pulled away from the tree food. Huh? Yeah, pretty tight. All right, got the last row done. So one of our little pens is fully pastured in now. So this is, I need to measure it up, but I think this is about a little over, well, probably 4 acres. I don't know. I gotta work it up. Anyways, one thing we discovered when we got down to this last post is that we were just putting a couple staples in, you know, down like that, and we were concerned it was going to pull it out. But when I got to the end, I cut it in the middle, bent the part that I cut back around, and then put a staple through it. And that's not going anywhere. So we really should have done that on several of the other posts. So live and learn. But we got just 3 sides on this other pasture to do, and then we'll be done. But right now I'll focus on getting the gates taken care of. I got to put a cattle, one of these hog, what do we call them? Cattle hog. One of those. I got to go between here and there, and there's about a 18-inch gap between these two. When it's closed, I got to fill that in somehow. And on the other side, I got about a 3-inch place to put a hog panel. That's what it is. On the 3-inch, there's about a 3-foot section on the other side to put a hog panel on. And then the goats are trapped inside. They're back there eating their hearts out. So hopefully they won't notice. But then we can finally get the garden planted. Finally.